Hello and welcome to the Blackout podcast where I get to talk to amazing people who do amazing things. I'm here with my friend, my brother, artist, author, entrepreneur, the CEO and founder of KBeals Entertainment.
Yes.
Thanks so much for coming to the podcast today. I've been following this whole journey you've been on. Like the music is the music.
Yeah.
But you're like, hey, I need to write.
Yep.
So like what was the push for bringing these books out?
So you know what? The interesting thing is I actually started to write children's books before ever writing music.
No.
Yeah, I was a horrible writer, songwriter.
What?
The worst in the world.
Holy smokes.
So I actually started writing children's books first. My mom actually saw, or she pulled out the other day like a box about this big, and it had children's books in there from when I was like, I don't know, 6, 7 years old. And I was just writing like about kids in my class who, threw up and they were sick that day or whatever, everything that was just around me. So when it came to writing the children's books, for me, it was really full circle. I was writing anyway. I wrote comics, I wrote all these different things. And yeah, it was like, all right, it's time to publish. I can remember my manager at the time, Tamar, she said, Key, why don't you just put some of the books out? You've been writing, I know you write. How about you just put some of the books out? And I thought about it, and the birth of I Am Perfectly Me came.
So I'm Perfectly Me, first one, you wrote it with your brother.
I did.
So what was the origin of this one? I know you talked about your manager, but like how did it come from, okay, I'm gonna do it, to actually being in people's hands?
Yeah, hold on, let me spit out my gum. I forgot I had gum in my mouth until it almost fell out.
Okay, I'll ask the question again. So we'll cut it and then I'll take it from the question.
Yeah, sorry about that, y'all.
Okay. Yeah, so I Am Perfectly Me. I mean, I know you talked to, like, your manager kind of said, let's get this out there, but what was the story? Like, how did he go from it's in your mind or whatever the idea of the story was to actually being in people's hands?
Yeah, so once we were on our way to Truro at that time, I was going to perform for Nova Scotia Music Week, and that's when she said it to me, Tamar, shout out to her. And as she started to say that, I started to think about the things that I used to draw, and when I went to the drawing board afterwards, after getting back home, I started to think about the characters first. Because for me, I have a different type of a process. Usually people write the words first and then create the pictures. I actually let the pictures tell the story for me. And so I started that way. I started to create the characters, and all of these characters are characters that I used to draw when I was younger.
Holy smokes.
They're the same style, the big heads, the big smiles, the little bodies. And I saw that they were all different. And I was thinking, how do I kind of put it all together? And my thought process was, okay, I am me. Like I am myself. That's what it feels like. Somebody already had that book out there. So I said, all right, we're going to take it another notch. We're going to make it I Am Perfectly Me. And yeah, that's kind of how it started.
What's the essence of I Am Perfectly Me?
What is the essence of it? I think it's really like almost like the opposite saying of perfection, like perfectly imperfect. It's like I am perfectly me is I am perfectly everything I'm supposed to be. That includes the flaws, right? That includes the things that are not perfect about me. And I think that is something that I really could have used when I was younger. And that was the inspiration for everything.
So it's almost like you're writing this to that 6-year-old Keonte and be like
100%.
Yeah.
That's the whole series. The whole series is writing to that 6-year-old Keonte first, and then to the kids.
So today it's just like a lot of revelations for me. I didn't know like the writing was before the singing, but I also didn't know you drew the characters too.
Yes.
Because like, I'm used to like people write, then they'll get it, like a designer or whatever to do the thing. So that's all you.
It's on me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then like, so you had you had characters, and you had this one, but why were you so sure this is the first, book that should come out?
That was the first song that I started to work on.
Okay.
And I just kind of let it flow. This book I probably wrote in less than 10, 15 minutes.
Oh wow.
And it was because everything was just on my heart. Like I
Mm.
knew what I wanted to see. I think the question that I enjoy the most is when people ask me, do I have any kids? And I'm like, no, I don't. Not yet. We're working on it. I don't have any kids just yet, but I'm like, they're like, how do you know? Like, this is good parenting advice in here, and some of the things that you say and some of the things you do. I'm like, well, I was a kid before.
Mm.
So, like, I understand what I wanted to see when I was a kid, what I
Mhm.
wanted to feel when I was a kid, and I just put that in the book.
Wow. Wow. So, I mean, you couldn't help yourself, like, okay, I'm done with one book. I gotta write another book. Okay, so let's talk about I Am a King. First off, shout out to the song.
The song,
The
yes.
song, I'm a King. So, what is the story behind this book coming to life?
Yeah, it's pretty much literally King, the song, the video, into a children's book form. But for the folks who haven't seen it yet, you can see it on YouTube. But it pretty much talks about being king of yourself. So like your mental state, being king of your of your actions, of the way you present yourself. So it's just about like carrying yourself in a manner that is going to be respectful to yourself, and then
Mm.
of course that'll represent your community too, and the people that love you. So that is, and that's what a king is, right? He's the king of the
Mm.
palace. It's not just him, but he starts with him first. So
Mm.
that's what I'm a king is.
Wow. I mean, gosh. And I think so actually on LinkedIn I saw the other day there's like a Black Man Summit coming on.
Mm,
And I tied it to the I Am a King song.
mm,
And all these things you're doing, it's like, as black men, we keep things buried. We don't
yes.
talk about things.
Yep.
And then we kind of like have this whole, I guess, a persona you have to be and stuff. And like having a book like this that, from when you're a kid, I'm just thinking, imagine reading something like this and kind of
Yeah.
seeing this strength within.
Yes. Absolutely. That was the point too. It's like I think we can look back and say, "Oh, I wish I had something like this when I was
Mm,
younger." It's like we actually have the opportunity to give that to the kids right now. Imagine what things are gonna look like the next 5, 10, 15 years for them reading something like this.
mm,
So for me, it's about like laying the foundation. Like I might be gone, I probably won't even experience what is to come with that, but being a little a part of it makes me feel like I'm doing something for the next generation, and that means a lot to me.
that's actually really special. Makes me think of this. I don't know if it's a story or whatever, but in the essence, is like if you plant a tree today, you might not get to be the person that
That's right.
sits under that shade, but
Yep.
it's gonna shade someone. So
That's right.
this one, I'm like, when I saw it on LinkedIn, I'm like, okay, I know the song
Yes.
obviously, but then seeing the children's book version of it, I'm like, okay, there is something here. But before we go to the next set of books, like
Mm.
we've had you on the show a couple of times. Well,
Yes.
like talking about KBeals Entertainment,
Hmm.
you've had this. I don't want to say box like Keonte Beals makes music, but
Hmm.
now you're. I don't want to say coming out of your shell, but you're like showing these different aspects to who Keonte is. Like, how much of like setting up that business and be like, this is me, led to all these things you're doing now?
You know what? I seen me doing all of these things when I was younger, when I was that 6-year-old kid. So for me, it just feels like the dots are being connected, and the things that are happening right now are things that have been in formation for some time now. I just didn't realize it. I think I was moving really, really quick,
Mm,
like just being on the road touring with music. Didn't have an opportunity to sit down and be like, all right, let's let's go ahead and connect those dots that you've been feeling and you've seen. So the pandemic gave me that. It gave me that moment. So opening the business and the company, I knew that it would be more than just like I remember when I opened it, people were like, "Oh, you started your record label," and because that was just their assumption. They didn't even go and read the fine print of like what my company is. They're like, "Oh, you started the record label," um, but no, I knew it would be more than that. I knew it was gonna be, a place where more than just me would be able to benefit.
Mm.
Yeah, that was the goal.
Yeah, no. And then how much work has gone into it so far?
Oh Lord, yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I would say right now in
Mm.
this moment right here is probably the hardest I've ever worked in my whole life. The most focused I've ever been in my whole entire life. The most sacrifices I've made in my whole entire life.
Wow. Why?
I think I'm being drawn to it.
Mm.
I'm being drawn to it. You obviously know that I'm a really spiritual person. So a lot of it comes from there. I move with intuition and how I feel with all my decisions. And I feel it. It's almost something that you can't explain. When people talk about giving up something and they can actually fall through and follow through with that, I'm like, wow, well, maybe that wasn't what you were supposed to be doing then, because looking into like my space of what I'm doing too, it's like I can't give up on it. It's not even that I have a choice. It's like I literally don't feel like I can. If I do, that would drive me crazy. It would be harder to live with that than to live with some of the sacrifices I have to make to do things like this.
Wow. Wow. So you're like, okay, what was the so there's a French version of Perfectly Me. There's the this one kind of threw me off.
Yeah, the way.
But then I figured, Arabic is kind of like
Yes.
the opposite way. So you've done the English version. What was the why did you decide to do the Braille version of it, the French version of it, and the Arabic version of I Am Perfectly Me?
I didn't want language to be a barrier in it, and not to say that it is. I mean, I think we know the stature that the English language has, and like a lot of people know it, or have to. But I didn't want that to be a barrier for other people. Like, oh, I'm not really versed in English, so like I can't experience it. Also, like the different cultures, like I think the clarity in the books is that it's representation. It's about inclusivity in many different ways, and we'll talk about that too with I Am a Queen there. But yeah, it was just about being able to reach and touch other folks, and that gives me opportunity to learn too, right? Like the different cultures within the languages, that there's different places and different spaces with different lingos, just like it is here, just like it is in English. And to be able to actually see that, feel that, live that through the translations of these books, man, it's like consistently growing. And I think I have this thing that allows me to be in a space like that, which is something that somebody else pointed out in me that I never realized is curiosity. I think a lot of people don't carry those things, and it wasn't something that I'd been aware of. But someone else made me aware of that, and I thought, I guess so. Just a curiosity of, well, what if we do this? What if we actually pour more into another community outside of yours? What happens then? We work together. Yeah.
Wow. And what was the process of getting the translation done? Was it difficult?
No, it wasn't difficult. I would say it was more of figuring out how to keep the essence of the wording while also making sure it resonated with people in the language.
Yeah. Growing up, I'd go to churches where either they preach in English or a different language and there's a translation. And it's almost always, there's a like I'm versed in both languages, and then one person would say something in either like let's say like Yoruba, right? And then the translator would say it in English, and the essence is lost.
Yes.
Or it's like I'm watching a show and in a different language, and the subtitle is like, that's not what that person is saying though. Like, yes, that's what they are saying, but that's not what they are saying.
That's
you
right.
know?
Yeah. And it's hard. Like that's the hardest part of it all, man. Because it's obviously it was written in English and that's my language, but I think we were able to do it really good, and I'm grateful for how we turned.
I like the Braille one, like okay, for sure French but the Braille one, like
really cool.
Yeah, like you could have ended it with you could have ended it with the French and the Arabic one. Like the Braille one, why did you decide, okay, this was important to do?
Really cool. You know what the benefit of them is, and I know you're asking about the Braille one, but it happened for all of them, is that communities also reached out too. It was something that we already thought about, but they seen I Am Perfectly Me. They said, "Oh, we want this for," and so the school board reached out, and that's who translated the French version, the Halifax Regional Center for Education. They did that. Same with the Braille. APSI actually reached out, and they were like, "We saw I Am Perfectly Me and I Am a King. We would love to offer this to our kids. How can we work together to do this?" And they did that. And the Arabic one was pretty much the same. We had somebody from Jordan on our team, and they were like, "We would love to do something in Arabic if you're interested."
Okay.
And so all of them came about that way.
So, I mean, you have this 360-degree entertainment company, and one thing you've been doing lately is, not lately, you've been doing for a while now, you do all these school tours, right?
I do.
And why did you decide to do that? And like, how much work goes into prepping for the schools, especially the ones that are not like right in the city?
hmm So we've been doing we've been doing the school tours for the books for the last 4 years since I Am Perfectly Me came out, and I didn't have a name to it. I was just doing the tour because I'm like, I don't want to name it anything. Right now is just a moment to study the kids. I would try so many different things and be watching the room as I speak. Um, I would listen to the kids as they came up afterwards, and they said, "Oh, this part made me feel sad." And in my mind, I'm like, "Well, I don't want you to feel sad, even though it's emotion. That's okay. That's not what I'm trying to do right at this very moment. I got to tweak something." I would be on YouTube, man, looking up, like what do kids find funny? What favorite foods do kids have? Like just studying a whole bunch. And then finally, last year, after a lot of work and working with the schools and talking and figuring out what they needed as well, I called it the I Am Experience. And of course, because the children's book series is the I Am series, and it's an experience, not just for the kids, but for the staff, for the principal, for even myself and my team as well. And we have a lot of fun out there. We have a lot of fun. It's a lot of energy. Yeah.
How do you prep for it, and what's a typical day when you go into the school like?
How do I prep for it? I feel like those years was the prep for it. So I don't do too much prepping now, other than warming up my vocal cords because I do music out there too. What does a typical day look like? So we show up an hour early to the school to get set up. So I have like my sound engineer, sound tech. Sometimes we'll have a content creation team with us too. We'll capture everything, and then we get everything ready. They do the introduction, and then I come out, and the show pretty much starts. Then afterwards, we tear everything down. Uh, that can take time sometimes because the kids are around
All
and
right,
excited
yeah.
about what's going on. And then we go and we do it all
I
again.
remember one of the videos I saw was you and the kids just running
Just
around
running
this
around.
this I guess like a school hall or something.
Yeah, inside the gym.
What was happening there? I'm curious. I did.
So so at the end of it, I do like a mini concert. And so I do some of my songs. I do the ones that are appropriate. Some of my songs, I do some other songs that they may know as well. And for the first two songs, it's really like one of them, my songs, and it's really song to listen. I'm doing everything vocally because that's my time to showcase that. And then the second song is upbeat. We have a good time. We laugh. They get up and dance. And then by the last song, everyone feels so free and so loose and so good and all that stuff that they just start breaking off. It's been real cool to watch, and I've been enjoying that part. That they just break off and they just start doing their own thing. And by the end of it, we come together, and the teacher's like, give a hand clap and whatever, and it's great. But yeah, like just seeing them be able to be free like that, it's intentional, and it happens every time. It's been really interesting.
It is so much fun to watch. Like
Yeah.
the thing about kids is you don't have to guess how they are feeling. Most of the like
No.
at least once they start talking, but like
Yeah.
they show it and all you see is just this joy in their faces. I'm like,
Man,
what?
they show you and they tell you. I remember one time one of the teachers were like at the school. She was She went to my sound tech. She was like, "Oh my God, we're so sorry. Like the kids are all over and they're having da da da." And he's like, "This is the point. It's supposed to be
Mm,
that like the fact that they feel free and safe enough to do that. We did our job. We did what we're
mm.
supposed to do." And I'm all up and through the kids too. I actually start that because I in the second song, well, you have to be there to experience it.
Right, it is
But
an
I'm
experience,
all
like you
around the
said.
kids, like I'm all the whole presentation. I'm not just it's not me on the stage and watching them. No, I'm in there. I'm on the floor. Having the touch experience. Like it's this is Keonte and this is y'all. This is Emily. This is whoever, and we really get to have that close personal experience, and so they
Wow.
feel free.
And then you were like, okay, okay, okay. It's not enough that I'm doing all these things. I'm gonna do a coloring book.
The color and vibe.
I mean, why did you decide to do this?
The coloring book, that was an interesting one. I was actually looking at the sketches that I did because I used to, I don't anymore, but I used to draw pencil and paper and then scan it and go through this whole process that we didn't need to do. But
So now you just like on
yeah, right digitally, I can finish a book in 1 month, top to bottom,
wow.
writing, illustrations, everything. Um, and yeah, I looked at some of the sketches that I did have fine, perfectly me, and I'm a king because those are the ones I did pencil and paper. And I was like, oh well, let's. I feel like it'd be really cool to do a coloring book. Thought that was gonna be a really easy thing to do because it's just like, oh, it's just sketches. No, you had
Right.
to do so much just to get through to make sure it's polished. And
Like what would be work that you'd have to do for the coloring book that would be above and beyond just one of the other books?
yeah, because when you're doing like pencil and paper, it picks up everything. Like when you're scanning it, so you have those little pencil
Oh.
marks. You have all these things that you have to erase and make sure it's cleaned and stuff. You have to clean up the lines too, because you don't have to do that when you're doing it when you're coloring it, because you're just coloring over the lines and then you're tracing it. So yeah, it was like literally going through and trying to remember where you left off. Listen.
What's the story behind the title of the coloring book, though? We are family.
We are family. Was just to bring it together.
Mm,
It is the I Am series, but I wanted to tie together like family.
all of us.
Yes.
Okay, so before we start recording, you were telling me about the story for this specific coloring book
Oh,
that it goes with you on your tours,
sure does. Yeah.
and the kids sign it
And
everywhere.
the kids sign it everywhere. Yeah, we didn't even mean that. Like we sell at the market sometimes and we open it up for kids to be able to color. And I opened up to the page one time, and then by the time we were finished, came back to this page, and it was looking like the way it's looking right now. And I was like, oh, I'm actually gonna put that into the show. So it's literally like a bunch of learning as we go. I'm like, I'm gonna put that into the show. It gives them an opportunity because they run to me for the autograph, for the things in that nature. I'm like, no, I want theirs too. I'm honored to be here too.
Yeah.
And they have a good time doing that. Yeah, breaking my crayons and everything.
Yeah, no, this was great to see, and the right things. Like I love this one where the kids like follow your dreams.
Yeah,
It's like, you know,
that's so cool. I didn't even see that. So just
yeah,
now.
no, I saw it. I was like, I was
Oh,
gonna
that
bring
is
that
so
up.
sweet.
And that's the thing about like kids are people, or some adults don't understand. It's just let them do
Yeah.
the thing,
Mhm.
because like if you mentioned you were doing this thing from year 6. If I mean, I understand that parents and elderly ones, it comes from a place of love, but
Mhm.
I still think they should give some space for the kids to just be,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it leads to things like this,
Yeah, you can know it's the seed.
and you kind of, going back to, oh man, this is the things I did when I was 6. It's like coming full circle. It is such a beautiful circle to see. Okay. Let's keep going. I am so worthy. Powerful one again. Like, so I know, it's like you have to still write for kids, but most of these things actually, I don't want to useful, but like are actually important and can play a role in even older people's lives, right? Because
100%.
these are things that some people like I've heard of, and I know of people that have done amazing things and still don't feel worthy.
Yep.
And so, what was the story behind writing I Am Worthy?
I think it was to, I don't think I know, it was to show that there are certain things that, because to me, like worthiness means like being deserving of it, right? And I think when people think of being deserving of it, of course, you can say, well, I'm deserving of my success. I've worked hard for it. But also, I feel like there are certain things that we're all born deserving of right off the bat. Like right off the rip, we're born deserving love. We deserve that. We deserve good friends. We deserve good circles. And then there's some things that you give to yourself. So, yes, I deserve a good circle. Okay. You got to create that for yourself. You got to build that for yourself. You got to be discerning, and follow your gut and do those things. So that was my thing, was just letting kids know and people know that there are certain things that you just deserve and that you should demand right off the rip.
Honestly, like, all the books are great, but this one, the title, I remember seeing it, I was like, okay, yeah, yeah, this
Mm.
one, because I hear that a lot in, talking to people and just hanging out and stuff, and I'm like, oh man, and usually they kind of just say it as an offhand comment, and you can pick up like, oh, you don't think you deserve that thing? It's like,
Yeah, man.
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of, like what you were just saying, a lot of people, even when they've worked for something, they
Mm.
don't feel they deserve it. What? I was one of them people. Big
I
time.
was
I'm
waiting
not
for
gonna
you to say that
lie.
because I remember the very first time we talked. I was like, especially that was, I think that was the year you won all those
Hmm.
awards at Music Week, and you're
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I'm like, dude, did you listen to the album I listened to? I'm like, no, man, you put in so much work. But yeah,
Yeah, I used to really struggle with like imposter syndrome. I never felt that way. I never felt like I deserved anything. A lot of these books really are talking to the inner child in me, for
mm,
real. And that's really what I wrote them for first, and with the hopes that it would heal some other people too, and I think it's doing that. But yeah, like,
yeah, no, I
yeah.
really love this one. And like it blows my mind that you actually painted these things too. I was like, oh, okay, you have an illustrator. No, 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 it's all you.
Yeah.
So one way, you have you keep mentioning your team and stuff. How do you pick the people that are in this team?
Yeah, it's hard. I think anybody who's in the space of business, the owner, having a team, or whatever the case may be, will say the same thing. It can be difficult to find, folks who are really gonna be dedicated to it, um, and show up. Because I'm definitely somebody who is really um, on top of things for the most part.
Hmm.
And then when I'm not, or if I fall short, I will take responsibility and accountability for that. But not everybody does those things. And so, yeah, it can be difficult to find. It really can be. It really can be difficult to find. But I think you have like a couple people that, have been around and stuff that you kind of work with, and it's great.
And like the people in your team, how long have you worked with them now?
So my team, it depends. Like some of it, shakes and turns, and then some people kind of come and go, for certain projects. I know you know that. So like when it comes to content creation, we've been working with Ben Edwards. You may know Ben. Some of y'all may know Ben. Um, we've been working with Ben for a couple of years now, like off and on with different projects.
Hmm.
They covered the I Am Experience tour, the first and second half, and that was really great. But so him, we have a couple different people, of course, like my sound tech who is now with us on the road, who's amazing, such a heaven sent in that regard. Dylan, shout out to you. And then we had like other team members and stuff like that. They're always shifting. Some of them are
Mm.
shifting. Yeah, yeah.
But like, especially with with the writing, okay, sure. But with sound is something that's really personal to you and you're really versed in. Was it easier to pick people to work on the book versus picking people that are doing the music with you?
That's a really great question. Um, I don't think I don't think either or is hard. Okay, okay. This is what I'll say. I feel like both the industries are different.
Mm-hmm.
The music industry is a little weird.
In what way?
In so many ways. The music industry is weird because, you just people's intentions are a little different there. I find, than the world of publishing. I think people are, at least in my experience, people are a little bit more authentic in the publishing world, which is why I've chosen to be over there more. But music is really like people are kind of just out for whatever is going to be best for them, best served for
Oh,
them,
right.
versus recognizing that we all are in one pot and we all will go, to heights if we all work together versus you trying to do too much.
Okay, yeah, cause like,
And
oh, I
greedy.
want to shine. I mean the collective, but I want to be the one in front of the collective in a way.
In a lot of ways, I've experienced that a lot of very more. But but also too, like, just greed too. Like, maybe it's not the forefront, but it's like, yeah, like money wise,
Oh,
I want more than what I'm really
that's
like.
insane. Like, I mean, they're bringing you into the thing. I don't understand. I don't understand people sometimes. It's like this thing wouldn't have happened if you were not like. It would have happened without you anyway, right? But now we're giving you this opportunity. Why don't you take this opportunity and see for what it is versus, oh, I'm gonna some people. And
Yeah.
talking of that, when you notice that, do you find it easy to cut people off like that are not the right fit?
Now, yes.
Yeah.
Learn lessons. Now, absolutely. Like, I definitely move with my gut on everything. I don't care if I understand it or not. Sometimes you don't understand it right away in the moment. You just got to follow it and you will see why later on. Now, back then, oh my God, like such a uh and I'm still a people person, but I think it was just I didn't trust fully my gut the way that I do now. And so I would give opportunities and chances, even when I already knew, when I already felt. So yeah, back then I'd be like, all right, well, I know we're human, so this was, a thing. All right, well, you're really getting on my nerves right now about this thing, but it's all right because I know we're human. No, not now. No.
So, like, was it just a matter of time to get to where you are now, or was like was a specific thing that happened and like, okay, no, this is it. I'm just trusting my gut from here. I'm moving on.
It was a specific thing that happened that really pushed me into a space of like, all right, so we done been here a couple times. Like, we done been here a couple times. Yeah, the situation is a little different. This person played the game a little bit better. But yeah, we done been here a couple times. Let's not do this anymore. let's not do this part anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then I'm guessing some of them in experiences involved being burnt in some way. How would you navigate for yourself, like healing from that burn before like moving on?
Healing from that burn. Well, I think it's number one, acknowledging that it existed. Number two, like analyzing the issue. Like when I was talking about being curious about things, I'm also curious about myself too and how I acted in situations. So like I think that curiosity carries on through there. I'm always curious about, okay, well, how could I have done this better? How could I have actually trusted my gut? If I did this in this moment, what, could it have been for me? Because I did know and feel. That is the like beginning part of the healing process for me. And then from there, I kind of take, what I've learned, what I've seen, what I've felt. And of course, like we all do, we put it into place, or we should. We should.
We should. Because not all the time we do that.
It's not all the time. Sometimes it takes about 20 times for something to happen, and then we're like, all right. But I think now, like the best thing is that people will take advantage of those things anyway, regardless of what you give them. A lot of the times people don't even want what you give them. They want what you have. So it's like you can give them the world. You can give them everything you have, and I have. It won't matter.
Wow.
Those things won't matter. better off setting your boundaries,
You're
being
like,
strict with it with everyone. And if what your boundary is turn somebody off, all right, God bless.
honestly, you know what? That is the truth because I think what most people don't understand about boundaries is that it's about me. You
Yeah,
know, this is the thing I will not do or I will not like. It has nothing to do with you.
that's
You
right.
know, you can do your stuff. Like this, me, I'm not. No, we're not doing yellow here. That's it.
Yeah.
Just So I think it's just coming into that realization, and this is again why this is
Mm,
one of my like the best books you're reading because like is understanding once we get to a point where we understand okay I'm worthy right like
yep.
I'm worthy to be where I'm at and I don't need these people to
Yep.
because it can be difficult especially because the mind has a way of only remembering the really good stuff right
Hmm.
it's like we did this thing and then when you think about it this thing that they did is very crushing, right? And
Hmm.
it like destroys all these things. So it's like for me, for my rest of mind, for me to be able to sleep and not worry,
Hmm.
maybe let's just not do this. Maybe there can be another project we can work on together, but just this thing, you
Hmm.
know? Yeah, but it's really difficult to get there.
It
I
takes
know.
time, and I think it takes time in different aspects too, because sometimes like family will get away with more than the normal person would. Like in a stranger on the street, of course,
No,
it's like
and
nah.
and I think especially for like black people, like when
Hmm.
family is involved, it's so hard. It's so hard. It's
Yeah.
so difficult, man. It's like, you know.
Yeah, listen, I've been the black sheep in my family in many ways for some time because I actually have boundaries and strong ones with
Yeah.
with my
Yeah, no,
family.
it's really yo. I think understanding that boundaries about me and not the person just makes it easier because like I don't want to have a headache because
Yeah.
just thinking, oh fuck, I have to deal with this person
Yep.
again. It already destroys the thing before it even starts.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. The energy's already there. You
Yeah.
might as well eliminate it now. And people are gonna mess you over regardless of if you do that or not. You
Mm,
might as well stay true to yourself and have your boundaries.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about I Am a Queen.
Okay.
Because earlier on you mentioned something about inclusivity when you're talking
Yes.
about this, so let's
Hmm.
get to that.
I'm a queen. Long time coming. I knew I was going to do that as soon as I did I'm a king. And it took a long time coming because I am not a queen. I don't have those experiences. I wanted to make sure I did it right. I wanted to make sure I had the proper conversations with all the queens in my life who I dedicated the book to make sure I tackled things for them that they saw fit to be in a book like this, and also to make sure that the words and the wordings of what I used in there was done correctly too. So yeah, I try to make sure to the best of my ability in all
Mm.
cases that I do it respectfully for whatever I'm directing it to. Always.
Okay, so color is something that really matters to me. How do you pick the colors of your books?
Colors as
Mm,
in like this color right
yeah,
here, the
yeah, yeah,
background.
yeah, 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 exactly.
It's so interesting because this specific color right here actually is we did some rebranding and this is one of my brand colors and we tried a bunch of different colors with this and this was the one that looked the best. That's how we chose that one. That was it for this one. It wasn't even nothing. It wasn't like, oh,
It
pink
looks
or
freaking
this
great.
whatever,
It looks great.
it wasn't intentional other than
Wow.
just what looked nice.
Mr. Keonte, you're on a roll now. Like you are in that space where, so you've been pushing this stone up, and then you're at that place where it's like, okay, you're just gonna let it roll. We've gotten it to where it needs to be, and you find the right path to get that thing to where it's going. What are things that are in the horizon for KBeals Entertainment? And for yourself too.
For myself. Yeah, we've done all the books and stuff. I'm just gonna say that for now. For now, and I've been doing a lot of work with corporations. Like we have a partnership with Make a Wish Canada. where we do donate $1 from
Yeah,
every
yeah,
book
yeah. I've
sold.
seen it in the books. Yeah, 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 right there. Every
Yes, yes.
dollar, every book gives $1 to Make a Wish. Yep.
And we do a lot of other work with them too. We've been having conversations with TD and stuff like that. I guess I can say that because, but anyway, we've been doing a lot of stuff with them too. So I'm more into the space of like corporate. I'm always thinking about how I can level up or how I can grow from this space. I don't like to be in the same space for too long. And even though this is the foundation, it will be the foundation for where I go next. This is thinking bigger now, how we can reach out to other corporations and work together on projects to expand within the community, communities, to other provinces and stuff like that as well. I have been working with a speakers agency in Toronto, Speakers Bureau of Canada, because I've been doing some keynote stuff, getting into the world of keynote for the corporate world. Yeah, always growing.
We keynotes. I mean, I'm happy you mentioned that. How do you prepare for when you? It's like, oh, we want you to talk about this. How do you prep for it? And then on the day of, how do you deliver your stuff?
For keynote, right? Well, how I prep for it is, okay, it really might just sound like cliche to everything I've been saying, but it really is the truth, and really is my truth. Is I do just move instinctively. So when I'm going to write anything, a keynote, a book, or whatever the case is, I always do my best work in the morning. And so as soon as I get up in the morning, I do whatever I gotta do, my routine, take care of myself, and I sit down and I just have my pen and paper.
Oh my God, you're one of those people that write.
I am. I gotta write it. The power is in the wrist. I don't know. And yeah, I just start writing things about what I feel, and I eliminate them afterwards.
Oh.
And I literally write the whole story, like everything that I would say word for word on that paper. It's a lot of paper. And then I start to build it into keynote.
Wow, wow, wow. Do you use slides and stuff?
Oh yeah, all about the visuals.
That is the other thing again. Like, how do you decide based on what you're saying or writing about, like what visual would suit what you're working or what you're gonna say?
What visuals would suit? I don't know. I feel like that's just kind of something that comes. I'm just familiar with. I think at this point, visuals are a big thing for me. I draw from what I want to see. That's the beauty of like storytelling, though, is that we're telling our perspective, right? And we're just hoping that somebody else can resonate with it. That's it. That's literally all I'm doing, like with everything. I do that for everything, with the music, with keynote, with these books. I literally just write from my perspective. That's the only one I can do. I mean, the only thing I can do, and I just hope that's the best. So when it's come to the visuals too, well, like what do I want to see on this page? What do I feel like would be great? I'm not thinking about, well, what would the people feel like? What would they resonate with? No, what would I resonate with? And then the hopes is that they resonate with that too. All I can do is that, right? So that is literally it. That's it.
So when is the new album coming out?
When is it? When is it coming out? That's what I want to know. I wish someone could tell me.
Not really. I mean, so I know the passion for the books and the tour and all these things you're doing, but singing is like God just open your mouth and put this thing in you, so it has to come out somehow, right? When is the next project coming out? When are we gonna hear Keonte Beals, even a single? Jesus, it's been forever.
I know it has been forever. I've been thinking about that. I think about that every single year. I'm gonna drop the album every single year, since, cause it's done. It's been done. It's been done. I'm just trying to figure out how to do it, how I want to do it this time around.
You know what? I have a feeling that, you know what, you're going to be like, oh, you've said the album is done, it's going to come out, blah, blah, blah. And you'll be like, nope, I'm working on a new album.
I promise you that really could happen. It honestly is something that could happen out in these streets, but because I'm not really like a perfectionist in that way. It might seem that way sometimes. I'm not a perfectionist. I will just put stuff out and learn from the mistakes as they come. For real, honestly. So yeah, like when it comes to the album, I don't mind putting the one that I have out or the one that I have finished out. I just want to set it up better.
Okay.
I want to shoot some videos. I want to if I'm going to do it, I want to do it. And I don't think I'm ready to do it in a certain way. I'm not ready to go and tour and do the festivals. I don't want to do that.
Okay.
To be honest, I'll be honest. I don't want to do that.
Any particular reason why?
Look at the silence.
Yeah. Okay.
No. The reason I don't want to do it is because of what I said. Like the difference between the music industry and the publishing industry is so prevalent. Like it's a real thing. Where you get to take your time with releases and stuff like that. A release for a book can last 4 or 5 years. With music, it's 6 months, and then it's what's next. You know? And so when I do the festivals and stuff like that, and whatever the case may be, I don't really feel like it's as beneficial. Like the feeling that I get is not the feeling that I get from these. Feeling that I get from these is a feeling that I never got from doing the festivals.
Music,
yeah, I don't think people appreciate it as much.
I mean, you know what? It's coming to a point where you're doing it in like, okay, for me, this is because like you've been saying, you've been going with your gut now. So, well, when the album is ready, we'll love to have you back for sure. You've all these times you've been on the show. I've never done this though, because I wasn't doing it, but someone asked me this question that really resonated with me, and maybe you've kind of answered it talking about the books, but what is something that happened to you before you were 17 that plays a huge role in who you are today?
It's so interesting. What is the number 17?
Cause like
why 17?
Because you know, like 18, you're supposed to be grown up and stuff. So
oh my
like,
God!
I know.
Who was grown up at 18? I want to know.
You know, I tell myself now, like, just one thing that people's like.
I'm sorry, my lips is dry and they're dry.
Okay. I'll tell you. So you're gonna cut this part and then we'll start up. I'll tell you when to start up. Okay, and now we can start up. So you take it from when the lip thing happened to here. So I think something that really stood out for me is like understanding, oh, people like age is not but a number, but I don't really think so, because what it does is it gives you time. And over time, you understand so much better things. Like, so I'm like, 18 is when you're supposed to be grown up, but I don't think so. I think kind of before, like everything happens till you're like maybe early 30s, you can still, because then you're still like, yeah, but for this question though, something that happened before you were 17.
Okay. Something that happened before I was 17 that
plays a huge role in who Keonte is today.
Yeah, I think that people don't. No, I know that people don't. I don't look like what I've been through.
In what way?
Oh my God, in so many ways. I think people see the work that I do, and you would never think that, or people don't.
Oh.
Yeah, like I've went through a lot of emotional and psychological abuse as a kid. Like there's a reason why everyone is the way that they are. I'm telling my story now, so I'll talk about mine, but there is a reason why these books came to be about, because I know how it feels to be 12 years old and to want to die when you don't even know who you are. I know those feelings. I know what they can do to a child, to have to live up to them. And what it means when somebody says, oh, he's so mature at a young age. That wasn't even a choice. Those things weren't choices either. Like I had to be. Yeah. So what happened to me to shape all of this was a lot of different things. I'll say them in the book that I write one day.
Oh my God, I can't wait for that book.
But yeah, there'll be a lot of things that people definitely didn't expect. I would say, man, yeah, you wouldn't expect me to be in this place had people known some of those things.
Wow. Thanks so much, Keonte. The books are beautiful. I got. Well,
Thank you.
would there be another one in the series, or is this like? Oh well, you said this is the end for now because you had it for now.
For now, you never know.
I'm gonna let you go with a little bit of magic for coming on the show. So, wrong paper.
What is this? A check?
No, I wish.
$300 check?
So what I need you to do is write a number between 1 and 60. Do not show me.
Okay. Or the
Wait.
people? I can't show the people?
No, yeah, but you can show the people so that and I'm gonna try and use these cards to let you know what your number is. Hopefully it should work.
What is going on? Is this tarot or something?
No.
Are you about to read my life? And tell me something I don't need to know right now?
No. Okay. You've shown the cameras?
No, I didn't.
Oh no, you can show them.
can?
I'm not gonna
Okay.
look. Okay. All good. So your number is gonna be in at least one card, but it can be more than one, okay? So I need your help here. Is it in this card?
Wait. So I'm gonna look at the numbers that are on these cards?
Yeah, and then let me know if the number you wrote down is in any of the cards.
Okay.
So is it in this one?
No.
No. Is it here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it here?
Mm-mm.
Is it here?
No.
Wow. Is it here?
No.
Is it here?
No.
It's only in this one.
Yes.
Oh, okay, this is so hard. Is it 8?
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, Keonte, it's always great talking to you. Thank you for all the amazing work you do and actually making LinkedIn interesting. Because like I love Instagram, but I'm like leaning more into LinkedIn. So
cool.
I'm always looking forward to your post. I can't wait for whenever the album will come out.
10 years, check me.
But like, thanks for all the awesome things you do. Where can people check out some of all the things you do?
KeonteBeals.com.
There we go.
Everything's everywhere.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.